Have you ever looked at a world map and thought, it's all wrong? I mean, what if the real powers shaping our world aren't the countries we see, but something else entirely? Today we're diving into how the world is being secretly redrawn, not by armies, but by massive economic alliances.
Let's just start with this one. Simple question. What if you just threw out the old map? Forget the borders you learned about in school. What if the real lines that divide us, the ones with all the power, are completely invisible?
Well, in our global economy, that's pretty much what's happening. The major players pulling the strings aren't just single countries anymore. No, today, power moves in huge, powerful blocks.
Okay, so to really get a handle on how these blocks are changing the game, we first have to understand the world they grew out of, this incredibly connected global network that we all live in.
You see, for decades, our whole world has been built on this complex web of trade that connects literally everyone and everything. It's the reason the phone in your pocket was probably designed on one continent and built on another. But now, those connections are being pulled apart and redrawn.
And that brings us right to the heart of this huge shift, the rise of these power blocks. You know, countries are figuring out that in this new game, trying to go it alone is a losing strategy. So they're teaming up. They're grouping together to become so much more powerful on the world stage.
So, what even is a trade bloc? Well, think of it like an exclusive club for countries. They all get together, tear down the trade barriers between them, and basically create one giant unified market. It's all about strength in numbers.
So let's meet the big players, right? First, you've got the USMCA. That's the United States, Mexico, and Canada. This thing is a North American powerhouse, mixing together high-tech innovation with some serious manufacturing muscle and a ton of natural resources. Then there's the European Union. And yeah, its market is huge. But its real superpower? It's the ability to set the rules for everyone else. When the EU passes a new law on, say, data privacy, companies all over the world pretty much have to follow it if they want to sell there. That's some serious power, and you don't have to fire a single shot.
And then you have the RCEP, that's the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. This is the absolute titan of the Asia-Pacific. We're talking about a bloc that covers almost a third of the entire global economy. It's the world's factory, dominating the planet's shipping lanes and supply chains.
And this chart, wow, this really puts it all into perspective. Just look at the slice of the global pie these three blocks control. It's staggering. We are talking about the vast majority of the world's economic output, all concentrated in these three groups. This isn't just some trend, it's a fundamental reshaping of global power.
But just being big isn't the whole story, not even close. The real game, the real competition, is about controlling the flow of everything. The goods, the resources, the technology that our entire world runs on.
And this is where the revolution is really happening. See, old school power was about making a finished product and selling it. The new power? It's about controlling the entire journey of that product, from the minerals in the ground to the final gadget in your hand. That's how you win now.
This just illustrates the whole strategy perfectly. Let's take a smartphone made entirely within one block. The raw materials might be mined in one member country, the super complex components are then made in another, it's all assembled in a third, and then it's sold to hundreds of millions of people across the entire block completely tariff-free. It's a closed loop, a self-contained ecosystem.
So the really critical part is how they build this power. They create what are called strategic choke points. Take the tiny computer chip in your phone. One block might focus on designing the chip, the brilliant ideas, the intellectual property. Meanwhile, another block masters building the massive, incredibly complex factories needed to actually produce them. If you control one essential step that nobody else can easily copy, you basically control the whole chain.
But all of this intense competition, well, it comes with some pretty big risks. As these massive blocks fight for dominance, they're actually creating cracks in the very system that made us all so prosperous. Welcome to the Great Fragmentation.
That global network we talked about, the one that was so integrated, it's starting to crack under the pressure. What used to be a single collaborative web is now in danger of shattering into separate, competing pieces. The bridges of global trade are slowly being replaced by walls.
And this fragmentation isn't just some abstract idea. It has real effects on all of us. As you can see, it means way more political tension. It means a higher risk of supply chain meltdowns. You remember the shortages of cars and electronics we've all seen, right? And at the end of the day, as that smooth flow of global trade gets choppier and more complicated, it can mean higher prices for pretty much everything we buy.
So it really leaves us with this one powerful thought. It's time to throw out our old mental map of the world.
Because the future of global power, the force that's going to define this century, it's not going to be about individual countries. It's going to be about the powerful alliances they form. The age of blocks is already here, and the only question left is, which block are you in?